We're going to walk through how we transform Sankara Travel's website from this into this. Sankara Travel is a relatively new brand, but they have been delivering educational experiences to many educators and students over the past few years. And they're a Black-founded, women-owned, and women-led business. As you can see, they have some great design elements scattered throughout. Their colors are really great. So we got to work with Sophia Boyer to talk to her about what really made Sankara Travel the brand that it is, so that we could make sure that her website actually spoke to that. So you see there, that's what she was able to do with her off-the-shelf web provider. And this is what she was able to do when she worked with us and as well as a video creator to actually capture what made her travel brand unique, and also to make sure that the mission-driven aspect of her business was front and center. So we worked with Sophia to really talk to her about what mattered about her brand and to find the perfect photos from her collections to really represent what it was that she wanted to communicate about their mission, about their travelers, and very important about their partners. And here's an example of one of their partners there. And we also wanted to make sure we could represent the fact that their mission is to shift the narrative. So we pulled that out and used some icons to really visualize that idea so that it's instantly recognizable as you're scrolling through. And we also made sure that the story of the founders was actually really prominent. So that was something that was definitely missing on the other design. We're still working on getting a better photo here, but we've made the space to really make their stars shine and make their story be a core part of the brand. The testimonials were pulled in, making sure to get across the spectrum of their kinds of travelers, making sure that that's really compelling, and then making sure that the services that they're providing are clearly represented across their study abroad, high school programs, families, and educators. And then just providing that consistency. So one of the great things, the distinction between working with a company like YouLi to do your website is the difference between sort of having kind of clunky or sort of not well designed headers and footers. And so it makes a big difference when you have that sort of solidity of brand, contact, and making sure that the privacy policies, terms and conditions are all easily found by people in the footers. Oftentimes footers are a neglected element, but they're a very important part of the website. And now we can jump to another important page, which is the About. So in working with Sophia, we found that the About was actually such a powerful thing that we wanted to make sure that it had a really emotionally evocative image at the top. So we spent a lot of time working with our clients to pick the best images. And then we understood the story of why they are called Sankara, and we made sure that that was pulled out to put side by side the origin of the name and then what they have done to honor that origin and create that as part of their core mission. And so the designs that we worked with Sophia on was really about making sure that their values, their mission was really clear and also really beautifully presented to make sure that the audience that she's targeting with her luxury travel, her educational travel, that the look of the website matches the experiences that she's selling. And here you can see the team was actually a really important piece of that as well. So Sophia and her co-founder, and then her beautiful team, just full of incredible individuals here. So being able to come up with just the perfect sentence to fit in here and convey who these people are and what they bring to the team. And that was a really fun process working through that with Sophia to just sort of get to know these people in a little way and find the perfect photos and the perfect summaries there. That could be a really great exercise, and that's something that we help our clients when we talk to them, is sort of extracting those little mini stories and putting them in the right place on the website. Whereas if you notice on the original website, there isn't that emphasis, right? So there's a lack of emotional connection here on this website. And sure, it's still just a website. It's still just a sort of two-dimensional thing. But obviously, when you put the about, when you put the humanity into the about, it makes people much more comfortable purchasing the kinds of experiences that YouLi clients are looking for, and those are experiences that are connected to the humanity of the operators, the ones who are taking them on these trips. So why do people buy from Sankara as compared to any other educational travel company? And it has to do with the people. And so that's why you'll see in most of the images that we've selected, people are a very important part of it. This is one of my favorite ones here, travel experiences for educators. This is one of her segments, and we worked with her to come up with the right content and the right images. And then we have this embed. So this is a really important aspect of working with YouLi. The website content, sure, you can build a website on any platform, and we're happy to work with you to optimize on any platform, whether that's Wix or Squarespace or WordPress, or in this case, Ionis. But then what we do is we integrate the YouLi trips, and so that way, without having to make any changes on your website, you can be working within the YouLi platform, and then when the customers click from that embedded link, it takes you into those trip pages, and then all that content is managed within YouLi through that wonderful interface. It's really easy to use, so you never actually have to be editing code or fighting with, where these buttons are and what the spacing is. And then your customers can just really easily click here and see what's included and complete that checkout process. So that's something that comes with all of our YouLi web integrations, is we make sure that those trip embeds are put on the right page. And we also give you a white label domain, so that that always is included with our YouLi web builds. And then we have our program highlights, the Sankara difference. So all of these elements were designed by our designer, Steph Chung, and she has just an incredible sense of how to lay out content to really provide that emotional connection and pop what it is that we hear from our clients about why their travelers want to book with them, and we just make sure that that's super visible in the designs. So again, just kind of going back to looking at the contrast from the original site. So here, it's a beautiful model, but it's not really representative of the people who actually go on these trips with her. And again, just sort of something about it doesn't feel on brand, right? It's just your eye doesn't know where to look. There's too many things going on, too many fonts, and all of that distraction makes it quite difficult for someone who's sort of scanning through it to really understand what the Sankara difference is, what the program highlights are, what trips are currently available, and ultimately see themselves in these experiences. So, quite a difference in the imagery between the new one and the old one, because we're looking to make sure that people see themselves on these pages and therefore want to click on that Book Now button and complete that transaction. So that's a quick run through of how we helped Sophia go from her starter website. We all have starter websites, nothing to be ashamed of there. You definitely have to start somewhere, but taking it from something like this to something like this, it's a sign that as a travel business you're maturing and you want your website to match the reality of the quality of the product that you deliver on the ground, and you want your website to show that. So when you're ready to take your website experience to the next level and partner with YouLi, Hopefully, you will look forward to working with us and making your website really, really represent your brand and become a super accessible place for your travelers to find and ultimately book your travel experiences.